Tick, tick. It is 7 o'clock on Monday, September 19th, and we will call this meeting to order. Welcome to Deputy City Clerk Erica Gordon. If we could get a roll call, please.
Mayor Gary,
Here.
Commissioner Bauer,
Here.
Commissioner Twardy, Commissioner Bospis-Wrath,
Here.
Commissioner Miller, Commissioner Talentino,
Here.
Commissioner Rubenstein.
Here.
Commissioners Twardy and Miller did reach out and tell us they were unable to make the meeting tonight, so if you would like to make a motion to excuse or not. Commissioner Bauer.
I move to excuse both commissioners.
Support. Been moved and supported. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They are excused. If everybody that can stand would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Item 4 is mayor comments and general announcements. Just have a couple of comments. This is campaign season, election season. A couple of weeks ago, the Sioux Area Young Professionals Group had a good candidate forum. I think that everybody was able to attend. And tomorrow night, the League of Women Voters of EUP have a candidate forum at Bayless Public Library at 7 o'clock. So please show up and listen to the candidates for City Commission. As a reminder, I know we all got the letter, but signs are permitted only in private property and not in the right-of-way. So I've seen a lot already that have been in the right-of-ways. City will pick them up. So keep an eye on those signs. On September 9th, LSSU held a 9/11 ceremony on the campus of Lake Superior, and I don't know how many years they've been doing that, but it's a fantastic ceremony, and we'd like to thank them and thank all of the first responders that were there. Sioux Fire Department, Sioux Police Department, and a host of others were present. Really is a somber occasion, and especially when you look over the student body and you realize that none of them were born when 9/11 happened, and I was already in my career probably a dozen years. So I'm glad that they keep doing that to keep that memory alive. Also wanted to say thank you and congratulations to the Sault Ste. Marie Police Department and specifically detectives who got a letter of, I guess you'd say commendation, thanking from the Michigan Department of State Police for some of their efforts. And I think we all say it a lot, but we do support our police and fire, and we appreciate everything they do every single day. So thank you very much. Move on into item B, which is proclamations and recognitions, and City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up first for commission introduction, I guess, different line of saying it, is our new DDA director, Stephanie Sprecher. Come on up to the microphone, Stephanie. You've all seen a few emails going back and forth with Stephanie, kind of name being mentioned, so I wanted to be able to put the face to you all for moving forward. So Stephanie started last Monday with our DDA director. She had her first DDA board meeting last Wednesday, which was thrilling. Stephanie comes from us from the Sioux tribe. She spent a number of years there in a variety of different roles. The DDA board went through an interview process where we had a couple of candidates, and Stephanie easily rose to the top with her experience, her skill set, and her knowledge. So I look forward to working with Stephanie moving forward, and I look for a long tenure out of Stephanie. So, commission, Stephanie, the commission. So.
Congratulations and welcome.
A lot of time with
Yeah, it's a little bit more relieved today. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you. Hi, Eric. Thanks. And thank you, everybody, and thank
Perfect.
Well, welcome, Stephanie. No tears from Brian yet, but we're tears of joy.
As soon as we get our contract back.
All right, so moving into item C, which is public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments on any of the regularly scheduled agenda items this evening? Yes, Marta Lalonde. Number 5. G5, okay. All right, we'll call you when we get there, thanks. Anybody else? All right, we will move into item D, which is the consent agenda. Deputy City Clerk Erica Gordon.
Thank you. Number 1 on the consent agenda is the approval of City Commission meeting minutes of September 6th, 2022. Item 2 is the appointment of Brandon Johnson to the Parks and Recreation Board for a term to expire July 1st of 2025. Item 3 is the reappointment of Abby Moran to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Item 4 is the consideration of a MERS 457 participation agreement amendment. And item 5 is the approval of the consent agenda items as presented.
Thank you very much. He must have given you a short consent agenda tonight, knowing you were going to be here. That's the shortest one we've had in a while, yeah. Would any commissioner like any of those items further explained or removed for individual consideration? All right, seeing none. Commissioner Bauer, would you like to?
So moved that we pass the consent agenda.
Support. It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor of approval of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving on into item E, which is special orders of business. City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up first for commission consideration is a request to vacate a section of city property along 9th Street East and east line of Lot 22. The short of the long on this one is there's a request that came in to vacate some property. It's currently city-owned, or it has city right-of-way on it. And then looking through the request, city staff has no concerns with turning it over to the applicant. We are requesting a right-of-way to be, I just gotta find it really quick. We are retaining a right-of-way for utility easements to it. So this was on your commission agenda last meeting for a public hearing tonight. We would go into a public hearing, and then if there's not any discussion from the commission after that, we would look to approve the motion as presented.
Thank you, City Manager. So we will open up a public hearing on resolution vacating the full width of St. Paul Street between 9th Street East and the east line of Lot 22, Block 1, St. Paul's Addition, with retention of utility easements. Is there anybody in the audience that has any questions or comments at this time? So this is a public hearing. Sure, if you'd like to come to the microphone and, yep, give us your name and. Okay, Mr. Bittner.
Property at 900 East Spruce Street. And I also purchased the property previously owned by American Transmission. And is this the property we're talking about?
Yes.
Right behind there?
Should be.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Yep.
right. Because my address wasn't, or name wasn't spoke of, so I really, other than just that I'm wanting to clean up and utilize that property that's probably never going to be used for additional parking for my industrial property there. I guess that's all I really got.
Okay,
All right.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Anybody else with any comments or questions? Okay, we will close the public hearing. Any questions or comments from the commission? I don't know if we have any questions for the man behind the glass.
We'll figure out how to do it.
Planning director is running the meeting, so. All right, Commissioner Talentino.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, actually, I think it's looking great down there. It's really getting cleaned up really nice, and I'm excited to see what Mr. Bittner's gonna do in the long run when it gets finished up. I'll make the motion to approve the included resolution vacating the full width of St. Paul Street between 9th Street East and the east line of Lot 22, Block 1 of the St. Paul addition with retention of utility easement.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll skip on to item G, business items. City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to approve a lease agreement between the city and Cocosine Alberici Trailer. I'm going to refer to them all as Cocosine moving forward. They are the contractors for the next phase of the Sue Locks job. With that size of a project, they have made a request to the city to utilize certain parcels. This particular piece of property is the east side of the carbide dock that was not originally included in our reconstruction project. So it's the slip, the port slip that goes inland a little bit. Throughout that area, they're going to make improvements to utilize the site for their operations. Some of it's going to involve reinforcing of the dock face at the front there, as well as some other improvements. The total improvements are about $500,000 in exchange for the 7-year lease to utilize the property. They will put in those $500,000. So before you, we have the lease agreement, which we would look for approval on, as well as a second motion to create a GL project number for this project. So if there's any questions on the more of the specifics, I can call up engineer Dave Boyle. But if there's nothing.
Thanks, City Manager. Anybody have any questions or comments on this item for the City Manager or Engineer Boyle? Thank you very much for all your work on this. I know that you've been negotiating hard with them, and it certainly is nice to see that, I don't know, what's the estimate, $500,000 worth of work that otherwise we would not have the money to do, so nice job. Commissioner Bosbus-Rath, would you like to make the motions? Two motions?
Absolutely. Motion to approve the lease agreement with Cocosine LLC for the use of the carbide dock port slip with a term to end December 31st, 2029.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Commissioner Bosbus-Rath.
Motion to create a GL/project number to allow for permit applications which will be reimbursed by Cocosine LLC and allow for tracking of funds.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you. Item G, business items, number 2, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is the request to award a bid for professional architectural engineering services for their fire station remodel, as well as a budget amendment for the project. So the commission may recall during last budget season, we discussed the initiative to update the living quarters at the fire department to include co-ed bathrooms. So right now they have 1 bathroom, 1 shower, and as the commission is aware, we have just recently hired a female employee, and that's probably a trend that'll continue on in the future. So we should, and you can make the argument that we legally have to offer fair and equal facilities for either members of the sex of the department. With the way the station's set up right now, like I said, it's just got 1 bathroom and 1 shower. So Chief Miller, when he first came on board, he drafted a bid and put it out for engineering and architectural services. The project came back in 3 phases. We received 3 bids from 2 local firms and 1 out-of-town firm. The low firm being the SIDOT Group, who we're recommending moving forward with. To help fund the project, we are anticipating it not be necessarily a cheap project, but we're planning on pulling some of our funds from our American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds. The commission will recall we got about $1.4 million as a direct allocation from the federal government. Facility upgrades are a permissible use of those funds, so we're recommending or requesting $250,000 of our $1.4 million to be able to be dedicated for this project. So the first phase of this project will be to get in there and kind of design it and get some cost estimates. We'll move forward with phase 2, which would be the design and bid documents, and then phase 3 would be the actual construction of it. So 2 motions for this particular item: motion to award the bid to SIDOC and a motion to increase the project budget to $250,000 utilizing ARPA funds.
Thanks, City Manager. Any questions for him on this item? Commissioner Rubenstein?
Motion to award award of bid to low bidder SIDOC Group, a Michigan firm, in the amount not to exceed $25,280 for professional architectural / engineer services for the fire station remodel.
Support.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Commissioner Rubenstein?
Motion to increase the project budget by $250,000 to include construction with funding from the American Rescue Plan Act dollars.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Under G, business items, number 3, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to purchase 12 rotating biological contactors for the wastewater treatment plant. We had originally budgeted about $90,000 for this project. We put out a bid at first. We didn't get anything back. So Director Masterson went out and got some quotes for them. Included in your item are the quotes. And we would look for a motion to authorize the purchase of 12 bearings from Northern Industrial Supply at the quoted price of $3,745.66 each, for a total of $44,947.92.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions or comments on this item? Commissioner Bauer?
Yeah, in looking over the bids, it seems to me that the bid that came in from Northern Industrial Supply only includes one piece.
It's correct. The quote only includes one, but we would add on the amount that we're ordering, correct?
Correct. It would be 12 total at that price.
Yeah.
And we're sure that they understand that.
Yes.
Okay, just checking, because sometimes misunderstandings do occur, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I'm seeing one piece here.
Yep.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks.
Good question. Any other questions? Commissioner Bauer, would you like to make that motion?
Sure. I move to authorize the purchase of 12 bearings from Northern Industrial Supply of Gaylord, Michigan, at the quoted price of $3,745.66 each, for a total of $44,947.92,
Support.
which, by the way, is way under budget.
We'll
All
get it in
right.
another
Oh, s-
project.
yeah.
Don't worry about it. We'll get it in the next item. Don't worry about that.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Any questions or comments on that item? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to the juicy one, I guess. G, business items, number 5, City Manager.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to purchase 3 screw pump conveyor shrouds, conveyor shrouds. So in your item is a picture of a shroud, and basically it's the piece of metal that kind of sits on the right side of that keeps everything in line there and from splashing everywhere. So the commission will recall we started work on a screw pump replacement project at the wastewater treatment plant. The shrouds were a piece that we overlooked while we were putting together that project. Once the contractors came on site and they started pulling them out, they recognized that they weren't useful anymore. So we're going to amend the project a little bit to include 3 shrouds for the screws coming in. This additional item for the project is roughly $29,900. The first motion in your item is to increase the project by that dollar amount for those purposes. And then the second one is to approve the purchase of 3 wastewater treatment plant screw conveyor shrouds from Northern Machine and Repair at the quoted price of $29,854.
Not much in the picture.
No. No, but they're in rough shape. They definitely need to be replaced. If we're going to do the screw pumps, we should do the shrouds. I don't know why I'm having a hard time. Shrouds. Deflectors. We should do the deflectors as well.
Any questions or comments on this item? Commissioner Talentino.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just one comment. I just want everybody to understand, for us, we've had the lucky, I should say, tour of seeing exactly how these screws work. And I want everybody out there to know and understand one thing, that everything you decide to flush down your toilet, these screws are gonna touch, you know, and this is one of the most, there's no pleasant way of putting it, disgusting parts of the sanitation building down there. So it is very important. I believe the last time that I was in there, I thought I only saw 1 screw operating at that time. So this is very important, and boy, watch what you put down your toilets, people. That being said, motion to amend the project budget to increase it to $29,900 for the purchase of 3 Wwtp screw conveyor shrouds to be funded from the Sewer Capital Reserve.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed.
Motion to approve the purchase of 3 Wwtp screw conveyor shrouds from Northern Machine and Repair as quoted price of $29,854.20.
Support.
Any questions or comments on this part of the item? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Thank you very much. Under G, business items, number 5.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to amend the project for the water meter replacement project. The $2.2 million project, as anyone could, kind of assume moving forward, that there was some overcosts or some unanticipated expenses that came up. The narrative in there includes a couple of them, some new meters, new reader, excuse me, and some other equipment. We feel $25,000 will carry the project forward. So we look for a motion to amend the project by $25,000, the funding coming out of the water capital reserves. We are about 93% done with that project. Most of the change outs are still happening or are now happening by staff. A lot of them are still the larger meters, not necessarily residential meters, and we should probably wrap up here next couple few months. Yeah, so.
Thanks, City Manager. So Marta Lalone, you had some questions or comments?
Just a comment. I think I want to say for the whole city that we're very disappointed, shocked, and broke, thanks to our new smart meters. And now we're going to add another 25 grand to it because we can't get around it. Project's got to be completed. It's started. But the cubic feet don't compute to the gallons that are coming out on our bills, and our bills are doubled. I gave this months and months and told everybody to be patient and read their bills carefully. And many of the people I've spoken to are in total shock. Our water bills are obnoxious. And it's hard to pay double and triple what you paid a year ago.
Thanks, Marta. City Manager, I don't know if you've had any comments. I think that we've had some people have come forward and the issues have been resolved, but if you could. Okay.
I would say in general, if anybody's experiencing a bill they're not sure is accurate, to get a hold of the water department at City Hall, and they will put in a work order, which involves not only looking at the account and ensuring that the computer side of things are set up, but also having staff go out, check the meter, and see if there's any other potential issues. So if anybody's not sure of their bill, whether it be $10 off, double, triple, whatever the size of it may be, I would get a hold of city staff here at City Hall and start that process.
Thank you. All right, any questions or comments from the commission? Commissioner Bosphus-Rath, would you like to make the motion?
Sure. Motion to amend the water meter replacement project budget by $25,000 with funding from water capital reserves.
Support?
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Thank you very much. Thanks for your comments, Marta. Under G, business items, number 6, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to apply for a grant for the Carbide Dock to the Eagle Shore Power Grant Program. With this grant application, we would be able to put in a good amount of electrification services at the Carbide Dock for cruise ships and freighters to be able to utilize that site for whatever they need electricity for. So the grant itself, I believe we're putting in about $1.7 million. The grant's got to be submitted in soon, and then we'll hear in the next few months whether we're awarded that one. But this is one that will help reduce some costs, but not all of the costs of the Carbide Dock. I would say some of these items are kind of an add-on that weren't within the original project scope, that with this grant opportunity coming forward, we felt it would be best to add it as an amenity to the site. So it's not part of the original project, so we still have that funding gap there. This won't do much for it, but if awarded this and we get everything done, this will just be a nice addition to our already awesome Carbide Dock when it's done.
Thank you, City Manager. Any questions or comments for him? This is your 42nd grant application, something like that. So, Commissioner Rubenstein.
Motion to approve submitting an application for an Eagle Shore Power Grant with matching funds coming from MERAD, MEDC, and MDOT already received for the larger project.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Commissioner Bauer.
Yeah, I
any
actually had a
questions? Sorry.
comment, but you
Ah,
missed out on
sorry.
the head bob.
This is actually the
I
right
didn't
way to
give
put it
the-
in, yeah.
I didn't give the full finger. I'm going to have to do that next time. Just two quick
Index.
things. Obviously, this is the biggest and maybe most important project that we have going on, provided it goes on. And, you know, how many times, I think I can count maybe on one finger the amount of times that I or any of us have sat here and said, you know what, Brian Chapman did a really good job with blank, you know, because we don't sit here and compliment him all the time. But I will say to the general public and to everybody in the room that, I mean, Brian Chapman has really been out there pushing and working hard, setting up meetings with a number of people of influence in the state, setting up meetings with the commission, et cetera, and been working very, very hard on this. So I just wanted to give him a little bit of credit where credit is due, that he's really been busting his butt for this. So thank you very much, appreciate that. And definitely, I'm sure we're all gonna be on board with this.
And
Now there's tears.
well, no, no, and I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. But it wouldn't be fair to take a compliment like that coming from you without recognizing engineer Dave Boyle and his project specialist Tracy Layton. And I mean, the amount of work that you've seen me do with that, which was a great amount, but it's like they've done everything else. I mean, they've put in so much time and so much effort into this, and they have made this a priority since David's been here for the last 2 years and since Tracy's been here for the last year.
Thanks,
So
Dave.
everything you've seen me done, they have done just exponentially more on this project. So it's the real credit behind this goes to the staff and engineering on moving this forward. But I'll take what you give me, and I appreciate it.
Thanks for your comments. It has been moved and supported, so any other questions or comments?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Moving on into G business items, number 7, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to apply a grant for another aspect of the Carbide dock. This one is going through the U.S. Department of Transportation Reconnecting Communities Capital Construction Grant Program. The request is for $5 million. There is a $1 million match requirement based on a request, which will be utilized through our MDOT funding that we've already received. So we would look for a motion to approve the application for a U.S. DOT Reconnecting Communities Capital Construction Grant.
Thanks, City Manager. Any questions or comments? Commissioner Bauer?
So move that we approve applying for the U.S. Department of Transportation Reconnecting Communities Capital Construction Grant.
Support.
Any, it's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Thank you very much. Under item G, number 8, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to approve the financial agreement between the city and our fixed base operator up at Sanderson Airport. Years prior, their fees have been roughly about $80,000 to act as the FBO for the Sanderson. Due to the fuel sales decreasing from people just not traveling as much anymore, their fees have gone up, so they came in with a financial agreement about $120,000. We would look for a motion to approve the agreement as presented, as well as a motion to amend the project up to $120,000.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions or comments? I know Commissioner Miller's a liaison to that airport board, and I have been to a couple of their meetings, and there's been certainly a lot of discussion, and seeing as how it's so close to this next year, I think that I would support this, but we're probably gonna have to look at retooling for future years, I'm assuming. So, Commissioner Talentino.
Thank you, Your Honor. Motion to approve the FBO financial agreement as presented.
Support.
Has been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you.
Motion to increase the airport contract services, GL 101595801-00 line item to $120,000.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you. Moving into item H, which is City Manager announcements and updates. City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few things for you all tonight. Just a reminder, the October 3rd meeting will have a representative from the State Land Bank Authority coming to the commission meeting to make a presentation regarding some new development tools that they've been working on. That's again during the commission meeting, so there's no workshop or anything like that. Those of you that have signed up, just as a reminder, the MML, Michigan Municipal League's having their conference. I believe it's October 18th through the 20th. So just a reminder that if you are going, that's when it is. And if you haven't signed up for it and you're still interested in going, get a hold of Sue as soon as possible. And then last but not least, I will be out of office October 14th through the 21st. And that is the week of a commission meeting, and Deputy Troyer and our newly experienced Deputy City Clerk will be covering for me that meeting. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for City Manager? All right, rolling right along under item I, matters presented by the public. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments at this time? Seeing none, we'll move into item J, matters presented by the City Commission. Commissioners, anybody have any comments? Commissioner Bosvis-Rath.
I just wanted to remind everybody that school is in session, so I know everybody's trying to get their kids to school and all that, but remember to slow down, watch for those buses, remember to stop. We got to keep everybody safe, so cheers to another school year.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anybody else have any comments? Commissioner Talentino.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Been moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.